Are we live?
Here we are.
More alive than we should. YOLO. Anyways, I'm not even going to say that.
Yeah.
Happy Saturday, guys. Welcome to another episode on Doha podcast. And I'm super excited. We got a lovely topic today. So many great chats. And like I said, we're going to talk about Trump today.
Oh, we really? Let's be ready then.
You know the scene when he had like a toilet paper on his shoes while he was going up the stairs?
I don't think I'm ready for that.
You sure? It's alright. We're just going to go behind the sun, like we say. Valeria. Welcome along to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome along to the show. Elizabeth is also with me, joining me today, co-hosting with me. We're going to have a great chat. So, how did you guys spend the weekend?
Amazing.
Really?
I don't know if I can say what I did during the weekend, so I'm just going to stick to amazing weekend. Yeah.
We need to work on the rules we have on the show. What can we and what can't we say?
We need a list. I told you, a list on the table of
Things to talk
inappropriate words, sentences, activities.
Topics.
I don't know, Valeria. What do you think? We need to work on that, right?
Definitely.
Big shout out to Shahada. He's waving at us live. He was talking to me earlier from California. He was showing me homeless people in front of his hotel.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know what to say about that.
I was like, why?
So we're talking about fashion here.
Well, yeah. By the way, homeless people do have great fashion.
Today.
I think Yeezus got inspired from that, right?
Streetwear.
Really?
No.
That's really street. That's too street.
That's too
streetwear.
It's like Yeezus when his first line came out. I never really thought that.
It's really plain and simple.
And a lot of holes in it.
Right? You got it too. Look at you.
It's not Yeezy. It's just super dry.
Just holes.
But yeah, when it came out, didn't you guys like the comments? And everyone was like, "Why am I spending $2,000 on a shirt that has holes in it?"
True though.
Yeah.
But still, it's a fashion right now, so everyone likes everything.
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and ripped jeans never goes out of fashion.
Tell that to my parents, who assumed every time I go out, they're like, you're a young man who has a career right now. You shouldn't be going around half
With
naked with your knees are
jeans.
showing.
Wow.
Not really.
Big thing.
Arabs take it personal and stuff like that. But you know what? Before we get to that, we just gotta understand that fashion is a way of life. I love fashion. I'm a big fashion person. I get judged, especially in the Middle East. They assume that a man.
Judged.
I really do. They believe that if a man is fashionable, he's actually very shallow, and he shouldn't take attention to his attire.
It's actually a very good thing when you trying to find like someone
care
to
of
be
yourself.
with. Like
You're like, why are you spending so much money on clothes and dressing up and are you a girl? They always tell me that.
Difference of opinion.
Yeah.
Well, it's the common opinion that I hear.
Okay.
I don't know with people who you hang out with.
I know, right? I need to change my
Just
circle.
like
I need
change your circle.
I need to change my circle. So, were you guys always into fashion? In a way?
Go ahead, Valeria.
Can I?
Please.
I've always been into fashion. I always loved it, and I think it's my number one passion in life. I just love texture, colors, make things together. Actually, with my hands, put things together. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
How long have you been doing that for?
Officially, I started in 2016 when I was 16 years old.
Oh, all right.
And I started with handbags made in Italy.
Okay.
They were like a luxury collection, so it was very tough because it was the first thing that I did with my brand. And but then I switched to streetwear, because I was looking at my market, at the audience that I was actually trying to talk to, and here I am with Venus Karma on Instagram, and it's going good.
Oh, speaking of that, by the way, big thanks to the.
Right.
I gotta give a shout out. She just got me this hat.
Let's have a look at it properly.
Yeah, you should turn, but.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll do it just for the sake of the podcast. However, every time I go out with people and I like something, I say Gucci, and somehow she got inspired.
Look what I brought you.
It technically says
I'm better.
I'm better than Gucci. Well, if I had their bank account, sure I would. But,
Now you're on the top.
On the top. Thank you so much for this, Valeria.
You're welcome.
And also Venice Karma for this amazing. Where do you get inspired by the ideas like
Venus
these?
Karma.
What does it mean, Aslan, in the first place?
Venus is the goddess of beauty and appreciation of beauty. Just
in Greek or
things.
Italian?
It's a Greek, but also a Roman goddess of the mythology. And I wanted to include my Italian roots in it, my Latin roots. So, and then Karma.
So you're Latin also?
No, Latin in terms of
Oh,
Latin,
okay.
yeah, Latin,
okay.
real Latin, as in
Yes.
the language.
Oh, the language.
which I studied by the way for a year, which
Really?
is crazy.
Yeah.
And then karma, because I believe so much in karma, and nothing happens without a reason. And honestly, I even loved how VK worked together. So I was just
Why do most women believe in karma, by the way?
Women?
Yeah, in
Okay,
general.
I think the men who are listening need to,
Understand that.
they need to get
Do you believe in
yeah.
karma?
You do, see?
You serious?
So,
right.
yeah.
Nobody I
Like-
hated anything happened to them. They're still alive and they're still chilling. They're like, where's your karma now? We're waiting for you, Sean. You know?
They're waiting for you. You never know when it comes.
And I'm
That's why I made a T-shirt with written "What goes around comes around."
right? Yeah.
It's so true.
And the amount of songs Justin Timberlake also sung about that.
Really?
From the 2020 vision, the tunnel vision.
Why do you not believe in karma? I'm
I
just curious.
don't. Not at all. Zero believe in karma.
Wow.
I mean, you should be careful.
How many bad...
You know?
I'm not a bad person. I text back. I don't break hearts. I buy you coffee for once in a while, and
But you know, karma can be good as well. Like if you do good, then good is gonna come to you. So it doesn't have to be negative. You make it negative.
I'm not making it negative. I'm just saying nothing happened to all these bad people keep preaching about, you know?
I think it's more subtle than that.
Yeah.
I believe so.
What's going to happen to
Some-
Trump?
Well, he's really on it today.
You really want to talk about it, yeah?
I was just on Twitter. I'm just saying. All right. Okay. So yeah, you were saying? Continue. I just didn't want to cut you off on it in the middle of it.
Before Trump
Before Trump.
and karma.
You were talking about VK.
VK,
Yeah.
yes. And then I wanted my initial as well in it. So
Okay.
V, Valeria, Venus. Because at the end of the day, Venus karma is Valeria, and Valeria is Venus karma. You know, we're like one thing. And it's a way of living, as you
Okay.
said. Like fashion is a lifestyle. So that's what I try to portray with my brand.
Are you one of those girls that go to the store fully dressed?
What store?
You mean?
Like
I mean grocery store.
groceries and stuff like that?
I mean, you never know if you find your husband in a grocery shop, you know? So, like, yeah,
Oh,
we
so you're one of
don't
those.
get it. No.
You're one of those.
Depends.
You're like
Sometimes.
heels, makeup, and you're like, hey, where you going? I'm just going to
No.
the supermarket, going to Spinneys, you know?
I mean, you never know who you find there, you know? No, but I'm joking. Like, I also enjoy very
It's so
much.
true, by the way.
chill.
I've noticed that the more messed up attire that I wear, the more people I bump into when I go out.
Yes.
And the more nice I wear, I bump into nobody.
I believe that is karma, but
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on. You guys are not
That
being
is.
serious. You can't be serious. That's not karma. I'm not a bad person. It's just bad timings, that's all.
Yeah, bad timing.
Bad timings.
And bad tires.
So the street fashion, I'm a big fan of street fashion, to be honest. At the beginning, when I was growing up, I didn't know what to wear. There was those washed off 50 cent jeans. Remember those?
Like
No.
stone.
That was
I think
horrible.
I'm too young for that.
Yeah. Don't forget like
Yeah.
that.
Don't forget.
I mean, you dress like, you know, a corporate woman. That's why I'm like, you know.
Because I can consider myself a CEO of a business.
Truly, you're
you
young.
know?
You know, really, this is how successful people do it. Starting off from a young age. You should see me when I was 17. You know,
18. What were you doing
You
at
know
18?
I can't share that.
Just like you can't share what you did on the
Right.
weekend.
I can't share that.
List.
Yeah, I can't share that with the public. I was, you know, I wasn't being a good citizen. But however, you know, growing up, it was very hard for me to know what to wear. We didn't have social media back then.
I think that's why, like, social media is super important right now, and that also what kind of influence your lifestyle.
Yeah, true.
Is
true.
that how you grew your brand through social media as well as
I mean,
yeah?
my brand is completely based on Instagram.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
my customers comes from Instagram. They text me, and it's very chill, you know. Like they text me in DMs. Like you think it's crazy, you know, but
Okay.
like to make an order, they just text me. Sometimes like they're weirded out a little bit. They're like, "Where do I order?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Here."
Here.
I'm like, "Here where?" Like, and I was like, "Just text me here. What do you want?"
Okay.
And so I think some people are ready for that. Some people are just like still.
They prefer the old school email.
Maybe.
And
That's why I'm
everything.
trying to expand as well with a website, e-commerce,
Okay.
to just make things bigger, you know.
Just to make it more proper like that, right?
Yeah, as well,
Yeah.
and it feels like an actual like big company. Then for me.
So, do you come up with your own designs, your own colors, your own attire?
Yeah. So basically, it's the brand is divided in two types. Yeah.
Okay.
So my own designs. So like things I say or I feel like, for example, CEO, stay woke, I'm better than Gucci.
Okay.
But on the other side, the customers can customize their products. That's I think the very unique selling point of my company.
Okay.
So you just text me, you're like, what do you want to write on the cup, on the T-shirt, and I do it for you.
You know what I've been liking lately? You know those like plain T-shirts that have like pictures in the middle of them.
Yeah.
You know, and you just
Did
have
you
like
see
a
that
weird.
face?
Like a
I
weird
saw
pose?
it. Depends. I mean.
No. It's like for example, it's like a plain T-shirt like this, say fully white. In the middle, there's like a little square box
With
like a girl who has no makeup on and like very skinny. And she's like,
What?
that's really creepy.
You got it?
no, but it's very trendy. Haven't you going around seeing it?
No.
Really, it is.
I mean.
And they always do like weird, I'm not interested faces, like. And it's so trendy, and they've been
I wonder
selling
what
very
that's
often.
called.
You can find it on Heron, for example. It's a very famous, I think, English streetwear.
Okay.
Represent, it's also an English one. It had Churchill in
I
it.
like how you point at me when you say English accent, English person.
No, do you see how I say English? I always do that, you know? No, but it had like even Churchill, he was smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, that's very weird. Like.
Very.
I did something like that. Not that weird, but.
Have you been doing that?
With a black T-shirt and Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
Face.
Yeah.
That was trendy, and but it was the only box with the picture I did. Like,
I feel like there's no age for streetwear though.
No, there isn't. My
Yeah.
audience is so wide. Actually, like 10 years old kids just
Whoa.
like text me, but
Okay.
until like 40 years old,
No way.
people text me. So I think that I found a product that people like, no matter
Across-
the age.
Yeah, across
Yeah.
ages, genders.
Exactly, especially because
Yeah.
if you do a customized thing, it's yours.
Yeah.
You know, it stays with you for life.
And for example, where do you make the clothes at? Like,
We produce in Thailand.
okay.
Yes, so basically I have all my collaborators in Thailand, and we actually, it's so funny because you see how social media is super important.
Yeah.
So to make my own orders, I text them on Messenger of Facebook. So I send him all the details of what I want,
Alright.
and like through
And they get back
Facebook,
to you. Wow.
we text. It's just crazy.
Did you
how-
bump into them like personally or through social media?
No, of course, I go to Bangkok like
Okay.
often in order to, for big shipments.
By the way, Southeast Asia have a very crazy collection of streetwear. By the way,
It's amazing.
like when I went to Malaysia, they had like previous collections from, for example, Dolce & Gabbana, and it was like from 2 seasons away. Even though
Wow.
it was, you can't find them in stock here, but over there,
It's already big.
it's already big. And also like you'd find like small retail stores, and like there's also a place in Malaysia called B Space or something like that, B
Okay.
Army Space, and you'd find all the Japanese streetwear inside the store, and the collections,
That's
they're very amazing. I've never noticed streetwear so popular until I went to Asia,
yes, especially but China and
China,
also
yeah.
because I think they produce them too
Yeah.
there, so they have it, and it's very big, especially in Thailand. Fake, so you see like all
Oh, yeah,
those
yeah.
like fake with Supreme that
Written
they
on
do
it,
it,
yeah.
but they make actually pretty good designs. Like they're very creative, even when they do the fake one.
They're kicking in now.
But and I think as well that one of the famous Gucci T-shirt with the Gucci and like the stripes that combine.
That's really in now, even with children. I've
Yes,
seen them wear.
but I think that Alessandro Michele, the creative director, he took inspiration from a fake Gucci T-shirt,
Wow.
and then he made it real.
You serious?
Yes, if I remember correctly, yes, it was something like that.
Was he open
So-
about that? About saying that I took my inspiration from a
Yes,
fake?
because it was something known, So
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, also fake. It's
I might
fake.
change my opinion about buying
There you
fake
go.
Gucci for some reason.
There you go.
You know?
I'm just curious, Valeria, what would you say to people who aren't really on the fashion scene? Like when you asked at the beginning, are you into fashion? Have you been into fashion for a long time?
Mhm.
If I'm going to be honest, I haven't been for a long time.
Okay.
I like stuff that's I buy things for the purpose of quality.
Mhm.
If it's expensive because it happens to be branded, then I'll buy it. It's okay
Right.
with me. But I won't be really into heavy fashion and then completely X out,
No.
like, I don't know what you call it, regular retail.
Yeah, okay.
Modest fashion.
Modest fashion.
fashion,
So I wouldn't block it out just because, oh no, that's like
Oh no.
street.
Like me neither, honestly. Like I think I wear very modest fashion as well, but on the other hand, I like.
So you'll wear
also brand.
across wear across the spectrum. You'll wear modest
Yes.
fashion and then high end
Everything.
fashion.
If I like it, I'll buy it. No matter it's
Okay,
like
I get
$5 or like
I get
more.
you. Okay.
And I think it's just different ways of looking at fashion. Because as we said again, fashion is a lifestyle, But also, you don't need to include it in your life as much as some people do.
Yeah, I get you.
And I think modest fashion is very big right now, very. And I think it's good because it includes a wider range of people than just like brands and logos,
I just remember someone texting me on Eid saying, "Hey, why don't you buy this for Eid?" And I was like, "That looks like what my grandma would wear." Like,
And they say,
yeah, and they're like, "It's new, it's fashionable, it's Gucci, and it's this and it's that." I'm like, it's not my thing.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to feel pressure to buy something just because it's fashionable.
I'm
What's
like
your
that
opinion?
too. I'm completely like
Okay.
that too. Honestly, if I like it, I'm just gonna buy it. But
Okay.
you know, some people are just like,
They'll follow blindly.
yes, so
Okay.
much, and I don't like that because it's very exaggerated too, you know. But you know, if they like it, why not? They're gonna leave the way they want.
Not everything in fashion could actually be nice. For example, I don't like the new shoes collection, like the Triple S from Balenciaga's, like those heavy.
They're huge ones.
They're like,
not me
you know, they're
neither.
4K, like
What?
4 kilos in weight.
What?
The
What,
shoes.
like
The
to
shoes,
wear,
like,
Yeah, they're
like 2
actually-
kgs each, or like
No,
4?
each one is 4. So we're total wearing 8 kilos. Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh.
And then they're huge. I mean, do you see me? I'm super tiny with those huge.
And like, and they're super expensive. And like, I'm like, but they look like cookout shoes. You know what I mean? Like
Like those shoes from Holland, those like wooden shoes, like.
Yeah, those big ones. Or it reminds me of like those Hollywood movies back in the 1990s where like this, you know, white guy would be in the back cooking, like grilling, and had like a little towel on his shoulder
With
and be like
huge-
huge, you know, like shoes and like long socks. And I'm like, why would I buy them for like 4,000 real? Are you crazy?
People get driven away like from that. They see just social media influencers.
And they
Yeah.
want to copy.
Yes, they want to
Blind,
copy
okay.
it, and then there's all the Instagram world. So you can't take a very nice picture if you don't have this kind of elements in the picture. So they will try like to buy different things, even if they don't like it, I guess.
They don't.
It's-
But yet again, social media celebrities do inspire fashion so much to the point that they actually almost changed my mind about those Balenciaga shoes. Like constantly seeing them on the search
You mean,
engine.
Yes, it
marketing
grows on you,
in
right?
general,
Yeah, and I was like, you know
okay.
what? Maybe they could look nice.
Maybe
Wow.
I would like
Maybe,
them.
but when they first came out, they were like, I was like, these are really horrible.
And you know, you need to follow that, like your inner voice.
Yeah,
As
like
soon
your
as you see
intuition.
them, you're
I
like,
like
no,
it or
no,
not,
no.
right?
We got a question here saying from Coco Ponce. She's saying, define fashion, please.
Yeah, that's a nice question.
Wow.
Define fashion.
It's like
Define
beauty.
fashion.
It's undefinable.
Fashion. This is like
Being daring.
10 points question for my business.
I like that.
Fashion is what do you like, and it is something you wear in order to show off the world who you are. So it's just a way of showing yourself in the outworld.
Okay.
If, of course, you're gonna follow your own, style. But as we said, those people that just follow the trends and stuff, they might even follow what they like, but still, I think you have to be super truthful when you dress. You need to show off like who you are.
Can I
It's-
counter that, just out of curiosity? That comment about
Yeah.
show off who you are. So for me, I agree. Fashion is a reflection of your innermost self and
Perfect.
you being original, your
Yes.
original self, your authentic version of you. What about people, like now I'm talking about myself, I have a certain fashion style that I only keep for the people who are close to me for obvious reasons
Mhm.
because I've chosen to observe the hijab.
Sure.
So that's why when these guys get shocked about some of the stuff I say, they're like, whoa.
Like what?
Like what we were talking about before the show, the Vitek and the aha and all this other stuff.
Yeah, but
Okay?
Oh,
So
yeah, I
it
see.
also reflects in fashion. So if I were to wear truly Elizabeth,
Okay.
you guys would all be shocked. But again, it's something that I don't want to go out
Yes.
in the world and expose myself that way. That's a personal choice.
True.
So we're in this region where girls here do tend to cover.
Yeah.
How do you think your brand can be a balance between showing your true self at the same time covering the parts you don't want to show, let's say, or keeping it only for family or, let's say, husband or...
I mean, I have a lot of Qatari customers, especially girls. So they customize the T-shirts with what they like
What
to
they
write
like,
on.
yeah.
And of course, they're gonna wear it under their dresses. So I don't think the only thing that I could do is just with the caps. If you're gonna wear a cap,
Yeah.
you made the joke like you're gonna wear the.
But I do. I wear it over my
See,
hijab.
and in that way you're showing off like how's your personality inside. Like no matter what you're actually
Yeah.
like, wearing. So
Yeah.
there's like two different perspectives about it.
True.
So you can only like a small accessory can change
everything.
the whole thing.
True.
So-
That's cool.
And I also have like wallets and passport holders. So they're like little accessories that actually you can customize the way you are.
Yeah.
And but still keeping your your image.
Your image.
You know,
What about you?
regarding street fashion, I do believe that it's also very covering, like
Yeah, like baggy pants. And
baggy
long
pants,
shirts, yeah.
and baggy t-shirts. Like
Yeah.
I mean, yani, as a hijabi woman can actually rock that and still look great. Like I've seen a couple of people on social media. She would, for example, be like wearing one of those Yeezy sweatpants with
Yeah,
like
like
a
oversized.
oversized,
Yeah.
and she would have like a really nice fitted kind of like hijab. You know what I mean? Throughout
Yes.
the neck, it would go through the sweater, and she would wear like really skinny shades and nice what do you call Converse shoes, right?
Yeah.
And it was amazing, and I was like, you know what? Street fashion can actually
Yeah.
can mix.
Yeah.
And it's
And complement the fact your typical values and depending on who you are.
true.
Yeah.
And you know what? When it comes to fashion, let me try to define fashion how it is. I believe that fashion really is defined from not just your personality, but also your culture.
Yeah.
Completely.
True.
I've seen a couple of people, a couple of women actually, and also your educational level. I've seen a couple of females, for
Mhm.
example, from Sudan. Some of them were doctors, and they believe that fashion can also be represented in a very kind of like pro-African, yet again pro-Arab, but at the same time very historical. Like it was just a mix of history. They were like, these are colors were used back in the 17th century. They were bringing back different attires. So I believe that fashion it's like art. You can
Yes.
you can tell a story through fashion.
Exactly.
Yeah, like for example, if you look at the last collection by, not this one, like 2 years ago by Dolce & Gabbana, it was
Mhm.
called the Queen Bee collection.
Yes.
And I loved that, and I felt like it was telling a story how important the role of like not just nature but like the mothers, and it had a very weird texture to it. I just never understood it, but because I never followed the full story, but they really said that they were inspired by the queen bee in nature in order for them to do these
Okay.
things.
But especially Dolce & Gabbana, like they used a lot of elements from Italy.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you, also the latest collection, as soon as you see a Dolce & Gabbana, you can definitely tell it is.
It's screaming out
because
loud, yeah.
It's made in Italy.
Yeah.
They play a lot on this made in Italy thing. And I think it's a very great characteristic of the brand.
And also, if we look at the French brand, what is it called, Givenchy or something like that?
Givenchy.
And
What's it called?
I always get mixed up with the name. But I love this brand so much to the point that what's that previous director of fashion? What's the name? I think his name was Ricardo or something like that.
Tissue.
Yeah, and he brought out, for example, the animals.
I've seen
You
that.
know, the Rottweiler, the twin monkeys, and the shark. And I thought it was just, animals. But when I actually went to the store, apparently each one represent a characteristic kind of like attitude.
And this is how you want to portray yourself out of the world, you know?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so if I want to buy a T-shirt right now, how would I choose? And you know what he was telling me? He's like,
Which animal?
What?
He's like,
Animal
really?
are you?
Spirit animal.
really? He's like, what animal are you? He's like, do you feel like you're more aggressive like a Rottweiler, or you're like more goofy like the twin monkey brothers, or
Yeah.
like you're more, mysterious like the shark, and like, and I was like, and he was like, really, this is what it actually represents. And you sit and you stare at it, and I was like, it could relate to your own personality in a way,
It does.
you know?
And that's basically also what I like to do. Exactly. With the customization, I'm giving the chance to the customers to actually make a product that completely reflect them or
Yeah.
has a meaning to them. That's why. That's what I really like. But also with Venus Karma, I try to mix my origins from Italy, so my European vision, but also with the culture here in
Yeah.
Qatar. And that also reflects very much on my persona, like how I
Like
what I
Snoop
wear
Dogg
as
wearing a
well.
turban. You try to do that?
Nah,
Yeah,
what do you mean?
that was like so trendy at some
It's
point.
funny. I really love controversy too
Okay.
and juxtaposition of things. I really enjoy that. And but I try to blend it in both European vision and Qatar. I tried that, and it's working, I guess.
It's good.
And do you
Yeah.
change seasons? Like, do you have like each season new theme or something?
I
or?
do limited editions and collaborations. So,
Okay.
for example, I'm gonna say it. A new collaboration is coming, and it's with two Iranian girls
Okay.
that are very into the Qatari world, and
They're from here?
yeah, so they are going to help me to create limited edition pieces, designs that reflect actually maybe like what the Qatari community likes.
Yeah, the region here.
Yes, so I very like to create things that people can look themselves into it, you know. So
When can we
good.
expect that, just out of curiosity?
Well, it's coming soon, like few weeks. I'm gonna release it, and you can check it on Instagram.
Can I ask you about also the prices? How do you define, like, how do you
Yes.
set the prices?
So the prices.
Is it for like everybody or like a certain kind of like?
I believe it is a very like the prices that I have are very fair,
Okay.
and I guess that majority of people can afford it. That's why I didn't want to go over the top, and because I want to be more of like a mass production for like a lot of people, but also if you customize it, it's more of a niche market, you know.
Yeah.
So it depends from the products, of course, and if you're gonna customize it, will cost more, but.
Do you use different like materials for different kind of like seasons or like?
Yes.
Or
for
do you have like a
example,
certain kind of cotton brand you work on?
For
or-
the caps, which is the selling point right now, is there's cotton, suede, and velvet.
Okay.
So velvet, I still didn't release it yet fully because it's very hot right now. But when it's winter,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna show it off because you know velvet is strong, and also the hoodies.
Yeah.
It's a very seasonal thing. So I didn't release them until now, but now I'm starting, you know, to release the hoodies, and people they like it in that way because it's also like neat and clear, you know. Show off of what I have.
At least you didn't go like Yeezus, and the minute you release your, you know, you were like $2,000 for a T-shirt.
No.
I would
But
do
because
that.
maybe I wouldn't spend that either, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. And we go back to modest fashion as
Yeah.
well.
You know how I'm inspired by when it comes to fashion, to be honest, streetwear? Chris Brown. I love a lot of Gigi Hadid. She loves, you know, like the way she dresses. I love also,
Kendall Jenner, I like it very much.
she's like half naked half the time, you know what I mean? I was like,
No, I mean when she dresses.
When she
when she dresses her and Kim K, you know, I'm like,
when she
So,
dresses.
I'm trying to get inspired by the fashion, but I love, she's actually very good. I love, what's his name? I'm trying to remember his name. Okay, well, until I remember that, I have one of those moments where I
Right.
lost it. For example, Chris Brown, very well dressed. I was always commenting on Drake also, despite all this money he has. He's such a horrible dresser. I love Drake. But the way he dresses, you know, it's like zero fashion. If you notice that a lot of these rappers, not just because a lot of people, they're like, you know, if you got money, you got fashion. But then not
all the
really.
time.
Not all the
If
time.
you have money, you have people that dress you, you know? So you have to see also who's
Who's dressing you?
Yes.
Who's your personal...
And also the
shopper.
brands that want you to wear them at any event.
Okay.
So maybe they don't have that much freedom in what they're wearing as well.
I mean, you can really dress better than that. You're like one of the best rappers now in, you know, in the era. You still.
Yeah, but what if it's not your thing? That it's coming back to that.
He said
thing
that in his songs though.
Yeah, what if
Because like
it's not your
Fashion
thing?
Week is more yours than mine. You know what I mean? It's like Finesse. It's the song Finesse. You guys didn't hear it?
I have a cup with finesse written
Yeah?
on it.
Yeah.
I like how you brought up inspiration, what you're inspired by, because I'm curious to know who inspires you.
So as I said, I try to mix very much my culture
Okay.
and what I have around. So my inspiration, I don't really have a defined one because I told you before I have problems with favorite things, favorite
Okay.
brands. So I like to mix a lot of different elements from different places. And what I do is like very minimalistic. And I inspire my products from what I would wear.
Yourself.
I don't know if it makes sense.
No, yeah, it does, absolutely.
So I look at something, I'm like, okay, yes, I would wear this. Yeah, okay, then I'll make it, you know?
Okay.
And then it's all about like customization, what do you like? But my brand is very like minimalistic, you can say that.
Okay.
Like very simple, but with a touch of something, of the accessory or like a way that one thing is written that will make the whole different and show your personality.
And what about outside the fashion industry? Who inspires you, like in terms of to be a bigger person, a CEO? Who inspires you on a business level, for example?
On a business level, Can I say my mom?
Oh.
Yes, we have a family of very entrepreneurship people, so I really much look at my mom, and because she's also into business, and that's why like she kind of like helped me to start, because I was just 16 to like actually start a brand. And you know, it's so nice how then I think I kind of inspired other people, because then 16, 18 years old, people come to me and they text me and they're like, how did you start your brand? Can you give me some tips? Because I want to do it too, you know? You're showing me off that you can actually do it.
Right.
And
you can do it, right?
Of course.
Because whoever's out there listening, thinking, I've been wanting to do this for 5, 10 years, do it now. Like, this girl's 18, mashallah. Like, Valeria, you are an inspiration to us. I didn't have this epiphany until last year, in that I was doing something for 9 years that I didn't want to do, and then finally I opened my coaching practice. So it's never too late, but start now. Start now, right?
You know, I feel like this generation is lucky because social media is in their life.
That too. That is a point. Yeah.
When we were growing up, like at 18, 17, the best we had was probably High Five. It was like the worst.
What's High Five?
You never used High Five?
Is it like kind of Facebook, but way back then?
It's like MySpace, but before MySpace.
What?
It was like before. It was like.
It rings a bell. It does. I might have had a profile.
And then everyone would write you a stupid comment
Like
saying, "You're the best person that I've ever met. You're so nice and very."
Like 2003, 2004.
Technically, yeah. And then I was like, and there was nothing basically. If you visit 2 pages, your internet would crash. So
That's true.
having social media at the moment right now, it's inspiring a lot of people.
That's
Like
true.
it's one of the reasons why it inspired us to actually kick off this podcast because
we can do it online, easy and effortlessly.
exactly. That's what I'm telling the younger generation. You
Go
do
for
not focus on having a mainstream job. It's pointless at this age.
Completely.
Yeah, I remember there was a statistics by the World Index, I believe, and it was saying that by 2030, a lot of people 50% of the world will be unemployed. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because technology is replacing a lot of jobs humans are actually doing. So, figuring out what you want, working on that, it could actually, if this ever happened, God forbid,
But yeah.
you could actually focus on yourself. And social media is the key. You got people that know how to bake and they're selling out, and people that,
And it's all on Instagram, like.
And truly, it's the Instagram culture.
Chefs of Instagram. But also with this new world and generation, new jobs are coming up, like new types of jobs. And that's what I'm going to focus as well. After university, what I'm trying to achieve is being like a brand manager or like social media manager,
content creator that never used to exist before.
And now they're just going to be in, and like when I maybe finish university, it's going to be even bigger. And these are the new jobs.
And truly, it's very inspiring. But yet again, when it comes back to fashion itself, I love the fact that you can see fashion now everywhere. You go on the search engine, you go to Asia, you go to Africa, you go
everywhere.
And you don't, like, sometimes I have clothes in my closet I never thought they would fit. For example, the long socks.
Yeah.
It's back in trend now.
He's trying to bring it back.
It is back,
Do you wear them with slides?
No, I hate those. I hate that.
Really? Because now it's super in, like socks and slides. Which
You know how much those slides cost? Like an actual brand slide? 2,000 real for just
like a
Gucci slides.
2,3.
Yes, and I was like, I'm not spending that on slides.
I find it nice.
Really?
Yes. Well, it depends, like your lifestyle. I mean, I think it's just a little bit weird if I go with like socks and slides. But then there's like type of people that they wear it and it just looks so good and on them.
But then it depends on your generation again, because let me tell you something. The number one rule in our house was never ever socks with slides. Never.
Sure.
Like, it was a rule, like, do not do that.
Yes.
Yeah, don't look like, it used to be a comment from my mom to my dad, please don't embarrass the family by going out of this house wearing that, because people will think you're this English tourist.
But my mom as well, like, we're scrolling Instagram together and there was someone like wearing socks and slides. I was like, people do actually go out like that? I'm like, yeah, it's trendy,
It's trendy now.
It's like, no thanks. Like,
I had a friend who was telling me, actually, we went shopping together, and he's like, Shaheen, you should get a nice socks and get slides. It's so trendy. I was like, I'm not going to walk in public with slides. You know how embarrassing that is? And he's like, no, it's in the trend. And actually walking around, like, for example, I've seen a couple of kids doing it.
Shuffling.
Yeah. Like, little Givenchy, like, little slides, and I'm like...
But I mean, if you spend so much money on slides, I mean, you're gonna wear them outside, aren't you, right?
That's absolutely stupid. I'm sorry for me to say that. If you spend 2,000 real, get fake slides. iHeart Doha is not associated with illegal kind of production of brands, but however, it's very trendy, and I believe a lot of these things cannot actually, like, people do not even know when or where to wear these things. You know what I mean? Like, also fashion has a place. You can't wear streetwear and go to like, because every time I go to a restaurant, I like to wear snapbacks or like. Every time I go, they be like, please remove your hats. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, you're ruining my outfit. No, you're ruining my outfit. I'm like, come on, can't you see how I'm dressed? You know what I mean?
I mean, it depends where you go, right? Maybe like if you put the snapback, but like, what if you go with the cap? I mean, if you're going to a fancy place, would you go like? Okay,
well, I'm wearing really fancy clothes, but it's just the hat is a part of it. You know, like the cap is a part of it. Like, can't you see it? It's like matching, you know. And they're like, "Please remove your hat." And everything.
Like shades indoors, like shades in a club, shades.
They're
in a
super
dark.
trendy now.
Super trendy, yeah.
Wait, aren't you wearing the glasses?
I remember the friend told me, "Don't do it. You look very creepy."
What?
And I was like, "Fine."
It's not part of the outfit.
It's like, stop ruining my style. And no, actually, I went to a restaurant this weekend, and I was super excited. I picked up the whole outfit, and the minute I walked in, the manager was like, please, sir, you need to remove your hat. I was like, come on, man.
Wow.
You know? And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Then I ignored him and I actually went and sat next to like the bar waiting to get my table.
And you put back the
And
hat.
I put it back and I was like, I hope he doesn't see me. And then 2 minutes later, he shows up. He's like, and he was like literally breathing next to my ear. I can't say that. I love that place. Can't say the restaurant. So,
like, there's many, like.
And he was whispering in my ear. He was like, please remove your hat. And I was like, fine. And I was like, stop doing that.
But also, there's like some cafes here, they don't allow you if you're wearing sports clothes.
True.
Or swimwear.
Yeah, well, swimwear, what do you mean?
Because you just come from the beach.
Okay, but we're still in Qatar.
Sorry, but they'll never get me because I wear the full
yeah.
so they can't say anything.
Never catch
Gets
you.
it.
You're the most practical person here between us. You know what I mean? But even some places actually, like you said, like you go outside, you see like the dress codes, no shorts, no stuff like. Do you agree with that?
Depends. Also, the people that maybe go into the cafe, they're trying to like portray
a certain image.
Yes, a certain image. So if all, I'm gonna make names, but like if there's customers that are all a certain type, and then you come and you're like completely opposite, you know, wearing complete opposite clothes, then it's gonna be like.
You know what happens? I believe sometimes I'm with it, sometimes I'm against it. I believe you're technically contradicting freedom of wear.
You mean like being original?
Yeah, like for example, if you're a fancy restaurant, like you would, like people like to define fanciness in their own term.
Right.
And like he's not gonna wear raggedy clothes, or like for example, I would like to wear a nice T-shirt that's a brand. Like for example, you know, like a nice little Gucci T-shirt with like nice fancy shoes with jeans. I don't have to be in a shirt or like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's still fancy. It's still nice.
Then no jeans.
Yeah, and they're like, I'm sorry, no jeans. I'm like, okay, but this is very fancy. They're like, no, you have to wear a suit and tie and like or shirts.
Slacks or whatever.
So somehow, I don't know. I hope they work it. Let's hope Doha, you know, I heard Doha podcast somehow inspired them to do that.
Inspired them.
Yeah. But you said, you told me you're going to fashion school.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm ready.
Is there a certain major inside fashion school?
So what I will do is fashion business management.
Okay.
And there's a reason why I didn't want to do fashion design.
Why
a
not?
lot of people do fashion design, and I think that at some point after you actually work out your creativity, then you need a business side, in like a business fundamental that actually helps you to put out your work out there, you know. And that's what I encountered with many designers also here. There were like small businesses that they are not very confident, or they don't know how to make their business
So
grow.
you know how to make it, but you don't know how to sell it, basically.
Exactly. Like,
Technically, yeah.
why would you make it if
You need the business. You need the business mentality.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
awesome.
think so. And that what I'm doing right now is just like a gym for myself, you know.
Okay.
I'm just like trying.
You're building your muscles, basically.
Exactly.
I get it. I get it.
And when I go to uni, of course you need design fundamental as well. So the first year, for example, in my program, you're gonna have to do fashion design for a year, because you have to get inside there. You have to understand like the materials, how to work with them, and then after that, it's just gonna be like business. So from the making to the selling, it's
And you're going to Dubai, yeah?
yes.
You know, Dubai is a very
Inshallah.
fashionable kind of city, you know?
It's becoming very big, especially about fashion. There's a lot of fashion events, so I like it very much. I can see myself out there, especially because it's, I think, a great convergence between the European
Okay.
lifestyle, but also staying in the Middle East,
Yeah,
which
in this
I
region which you want to be
enjoy
in.
very
Okay.
much being in the Middle East.
What's your opinion about like abaya fashion? I lately I've in the past couple of years abaya has become like in the fashion scene, like a lot of color has been added, a lot of sparkles, a lot of
I've
cuts,
seen.
and also like before previously it was only limited to black.
Like black.
But then you'd go, like when I used to go to university, I'd see one wearing fully white, like white abaya from
Yeah.
head to toe, and I was like, that's actually very nice.
And
you
now
know?
it's
I
becoming
like
more
it.
common.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way more
I think it's
common.
just like the influence from outside as well. People want like more modern and
Yeah.
staying with your traditional clothes, but still like making it more modern.
Yeah, and authentic.
Yes, and I love very much abayas. I think I'm gonna buy one soon, and I've encountered a lot of designers, abaya designers here in Doha,
Okay.
and they do it with their own style. They try to make things different. I
Yeah.
think that abaya design is one of the hardest thing ever because you have to like respect the whole dress, but also try to make it different
And your
from
own.
other ones.
Sorry.
And there's just so many, so it's very hard to be super creative about it. But each little brand just reflects maybe what they like.
It was related to feminism actually, this abaya fashion thing. I remember I was talking to a abaya designer back in the day, and she started doing her line based on a feminist movement, saying that women are allowed to to wear more than just one color, and she believed that to like we are not going to be limited by one color, which is black. So they believed that adding flavors, adding cuts, adding stuff like that,
Yeah.
and still carry out a very decent
Right.
conservative look, yet again fashionable, is not going to harm anybody. And I was like, okay, wow, I never knew it was actually a story behind it. And
I shared that.
it truly, yeah, and it became very trendy throughout that. And ever since then, some women found it harder to actually wear a different color. It was like family challenging. I had
maybe
friends.
they don't accept that, right?
Yeah, I had friends like they were saying, it's very hard for me to actually wear a different color because yet again my parents would think, no,
Say
it's too
something.
showy, it's too
Yeah.
colorful.
Oh.
But then after a while, like throughout these incidents, she was saying people started accepting it.
Yeah.
And they were actually saying it's very nice. Carry on what you're doing. Fashion is a very daring thing. It has a story behind it. We got around 3 minutes left.
I'm curious
Wow.
about something.
Yes.
Okay, so the brand I created is Inspire Me, and it's a coaching company. So
Mhm.
it's all about personal development and how to make yourself from where you are to where you want to be. So I'm curious about who were you when you were 16, like you said, and what were your visions, at the older you, even now, and who do you want to be? What are your success traits? Or
Right. I've always been, as you see me, so at 16 I was still like a little serious, more than my age, I guess. And I was extremely excited, I started at 16, I started to actually have a clear vision of what I wanted to pursue in my life and what I wanted to create. And I'm a person that I need to do something all the time.
Okay.
So even just partying all the time with the people of my age, it's not gonna bring you somewhere for yourself.
success-wise, is that
Exactly.
what you mean? Okay.
So I started developing myself towards my interest and what I want to do, and that's why I started it. And I think that right now I'm at a great point for myself in terms of development. I'm quite satisfied with what I'm doing, and you can always do more though.
Definitely.
Always.
So what would you say is the one thing that you're working on? Like for me, it's assertiveness. I'm trying to be more assertive. For Shaheen, I don't know what it is. Can you enlighten us? What are you trying to work towards?
Actually, I was talking about that yesterday, and I was saying I really want to get into academia. I
More
wanna get
academic?
Yeah, and I want to pursue a PhD, but it's either politics or sociology. I want to get into writing. I feel like whenever I'm angry, whatever I tend to run to writing because I find my peace there.
Wow.
And I believe everyone somehow is meant to do something based on their
Yes.
credentials, based on their abilities.
So if it's academia for you, what is it for Valeria?
Wow. I love these questions because they put me on a spot. No, but it's actually great because you
Very
have to
deep.
reflect, about
because
yourself.
it makes you, it's become you. So what is that trait?
I think what I would expect from my life to be especially is like being very focused.
Okay.
I like to be focused, and I feel like being focused, it will helps you the most in what you're trying to pursue and try the lifestyle you want to.
Amazing.
Well, I'm glad, and that was actually very deep, both of you.
Conversation.
I might shed a tear in a minute. However, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
I really enjoyed this chat, and we didn't talk about Trump, just in case you wondered,
Yes.
because we don't want to. However, big shout outs to you, Valeria.
Thank you so
and
much.
also Venice Carmen.
Thank you guys as
We'll
well.
definitely tag
you.
them, check them
Looking
out,
forward.
support, the little business owners here in the
Local
country,
businesses.
local
Business.
business owners. You might get somewhere. We might see you some down.
Inshallah, right?
Inshallah.
Doing like a big little fashion design like Chanel by the
I will
ocean.
remember about you, don't worry.
Remember this day,
Yeah.
a milestone.
Better get some VIP tickets.
Right.
I want to sit next to Rihanna. Until I see you next week, this is Shane signing out. And Elizabeth
This is
also.
Elizabeth signing out from Inspire Me.
Take
I have
care.
Doha.
And Valeria too.
And Kiko also. Bye.
Bye.